Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 61 of Blacklight Settlers. Yesterday was vote day. Here are my new goals. Build a panic room, boom rat ranching, so I'll have two types of explosive animals in my base. That sounds fun. And upgrade the outpost, which means adding a dedicated recreation area. Then long-term goals that were added, build sapper defenses and dedicated component crafting for a specific pawn. And then for recurring goals, adding shrines for fallen founders. Not that I've had a fallen founder yet. So look, before I get going and reading off the tips that I've received, I would like to preface by sort of pointing out one thing that I've seen crop up in the comments a lot, which is I ought to be very careful about not moisture pumping my deep water defenses. Now I wanted to say that deep water, which is here, cannot actually ever be removed. It's kind of like overhead mountain. Once you have it, you're stuck with it. So even if I was to put moisture pumps literally everywhere, I would still have this deep water barrier that prevents raiders from walking right in. Yes, I would make it a lot faster for them to traverse through my marsh, but there is no way for me to screw this up, is I guess what I'm trying to say. So you needn't worry. It literally can't be screwed up. So before I get going, I wanted to go over a few comments. The first comment is from, well, it's from a few different people. Dacian Hantig and Dahan Flea mentioned that in numbers, there is negotiation ability and trade price improvement, but they're both driven off of social skill, so they go hand in hand. Because I sent Nara, or who did I send? No, it wasn't Nara. It was Luna out to do some trade, and I went off of negotiation ability, but that is the same as trade price improvement. As you can see, they scale up together unless there's wounds involved. So negotiation ability doesn't get harmed from wounds, and trade price improvement does, which is why sometimes when you go trading, it will say you might want to seek a healthier negotiator. But as long as they're healthy, they're fine. Who is doing this? Nope. Nope. I was going to say, who is doing this operation? It was Hyena. Speaking of which, we have not gone over Hyena's medical, or Hyena's skills, which is medical, but not great medical. Hyena, it seems like you are going to be a hauler. Yep. And then Tom's, the pacifist. Good animal handler, I guess. Can construct, mine. That's about it. So one of my long-term goals, I'm not exactly sure if it belongs in long-term, but one of my long-term goals was to dedicate a component crafter. So I'm going to cancel my current components that I had in queue. This bench is going to be dedicated to a new pawn, much like how the right one was dedicated to Velik. But for that, I need to find a good pawn. So let's go into global work speed. See if anyone has a really high global work speed like Dano. So the reason Dano has a high work speed is very neurotic. But we would want someone that can craft too. Griffin has very low crafting speed. So let's also add skills in crafting. And then we can sort of go side by side here. So Velik here has a global work speed of 135 and 20 crafting. Menmi? I hadn't actually considered Memmi. Why is Memmi faster? Industrious. And an undergrounder. Alright, I think Memmi will be our choice. So, didn't expect that. I really expected a different pawn. But that works for me. Memi, you're no longer doctor, or a cook for that matter. So let's queue by smithing. I no longer want any smiths. Crafting is fine. I can have crafters. But what I might do is get rid of some of the less skilled ones. Crafting is for stone blocks and stuff like that, and drugs. But Menmi here. Where are you, Menmi? Here you are. You are going to be... Oh, this is DQ. Ah, man. DQ Hunts, Menmi. You are going to be our smith. Cool. So that means that these bills here are going to be Menmi only. So any skill but Menmi. And any skill but Menmi. In fact, Menmi, you're just going to do reverse priorities. You're going to work on regular components, whereas Velik works on bionics and then advanced components. All right. So that's a long-term goal that I can probably cross off. This barrack is getting a little tight. That's probably a good thing. It means I'm doing something right. If you're curious about my numbers, they're now 41. And what I'm going to do is, once I'm done with the lavish meals, I'm going to... Well, I guess I need to get the research first. We're about to get mortars, but I'm going to re-queue to survival meals. I'm going to start to crank out survival meals for storage. So, for Tom and Hyena's priorities, Nuno mentioned that they didn't have skills. One other person did as well, but I sort of forget who that was. I thought I had written it down, but I hadn't, so I apologize. Betteron mentioned that I'm not doing a whole lot of tailoring because these storages are full of very small stacks of fabrics. So what I'm going to do is to load in the small stacks into a trade pod, and that should fix that problem. So any small stacks will get removed from tailoring priority. I could just turn them into patch leather, but patch leather has terrible defensive properties, so I'd like to avoid that if possible. It looks like I have a lot of blue fur, so actually in here I'm going to specify the textile of blue fur. And this is supposed to be, what again? Textiles of cloth. And they just haven't hauled that in. I do have cloth. So it's also somewhat of a matter of hauling. Jova, what? I did literally say that Depends needs to do this surgery. And I keep catching the wrong surgeons. Which boggles my mind. Okay, see, this is the problem. I cannot install... Alright. There we go. That was ridiculously complex. We also have this bionic spine. It was going to go to Bob. Was it Tom? I forget who it was. Bob? Bob. It was going to go to Bob. Install the bionic spine with meds. Our recurring goal is to repair pawns with bionics, so we shall. We have a cochlear implant, which is going to go to Hyena. Hyena is a transhumanist. I'm not exactly sure who's heading to these, but I'll forbid them so that dependents can do it. Griffin, you I trust with this surgery, I guess. Hold on, let me check. Surgery success chance, 94%. Let's not risk it. Depends. I do need you over here too. Yep, see, that doesn't really work. James. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everyone but really skilled doctors off of the skill. And then if I have triage events, I'll put them back on. Because I'm getting tired of this. Yes, I know. Before you suggest, there are mods that does this for me. I don't and won't consider that. It's not something I need to install. I just need to change my priorities a little bit better. That's all. Good old social fights. That's great. We're working on the other implant. Hyena got anesthetized, but no installation. Depends. You actually need to finish the job. I know, crazy, right? But there we go. And now here's a transhumanist that is not unhappy. Poppy got in a fight. Who'd you get in a fight with, Poppy? Endolos? Did you bite him? Yep, you did. You bit his torso. That comes at literally no surprise to me. That is what cannibals do. So Memmi is going at it. Memmi, you have an eye cutout. I really, really should replace that eye so that you craft faster. Where did the right ear implant go? Oh, it's still in progress. Okay. All right, other tips I received. That might be it. That actually sort of summarizes it all. Daisy and Hantig also wondered why I didn't have bigger tables for more socialization in my rec room. Simple answer is because when my people socialize, they bite each other and kill each other. So I wanted to avoid that at all costs. Another thing I need to do is to allow for some defenses against sappers, right? That was a goal. So part of the problem is this back wall is a little exposed. Some of it I have actually gone to length to secure it from sapping. So what I could do is put maybe I'll have overlapping turrets. I can put turrets. Now that we don't have a huge prison population, I can put turrets in here. I can probably afford a breakout or two. And in plopping turrets back here, it discourages sappers from going to the back wall. But to this front wall, I will need a bridge to dissuade them. And I'll need to add an additional wall here as well. If I could click. That's a big if. Something like that. So Bob, you have a healthy spine. Hyena has one of the two. Okay, so we have the other implant here. DQ is going to quickly toss it into her ears. A quick way to make transhumanists go from -4 to +7, which is a huge difference. We're working on the double defenses. That was part of my, well, part of the voted goals, I guess. And Memi is working diligently as well. Velik is cranking out the flak vests. What I'm going to do is drop on the floor when we're done. And then I'll also work on flak jackets. Of excellent quality. That's perfect. And once we get a bit of that, what I aim to do is to... Oh, this area we are traversing slowly because it's dark. I'll fix that. I aim to put all the sniper rifles on the best shooters and then go poke at the ship. 34 max is just simply too much for our defenses to handle. Ideally, we'll have a raid come through and walk right through that. That would be great, but I'm not going to wait for that to possibly happen. I'm going to take steps to remove the threat sooner than later. So the dedicated component crafting, definitely working out. Our undergrounder doesn't care that she's inside all day long. We do need to work on the eye. Here we go. Working on that bionic eye so that she speeds up a bit. I'd like to be able to turn these turrets off, although I'm generating well over enough power to keep them on anyway. Okay, oddly enough, someone wanted safety and they're showing up to the outpost. So, Mogar, you are a teenager. Whoa, you are a very, very old teenager, is all I can say. I think you're now the youngest person, and you are a wimp. Wow, you are really not all that useful. But I guess you, alas, are a teenager. Okay, so being a wimp, we will definitely heavily rely upon automated defenses. It's weird that you sought refuge at a uninhabited outpost. But only one person's coming after you, so that's not much of an issue. As for work priorities, you are going to be a hauler or a cleaner once you get back home. I know. Menial jobs, but for a very menial pawn. We're still in the process of strip mining. Meaning that the Muffalo need to make another trip. Here's our raid. Here's the Grey Slayer pirate coming after you. Who's doing drugs, go juice, with a peg leg. Very scary. This is going to be a short fight. And you're literally just about naked now. Don't bash my turret. Don't do it. Alright. We're going to temporarily allow you to construct because you have to repair the damage you've done to this outpost. And then we'll send you home. Some camel hair. Yeah, the loss of Leth was pretty hard on the community because everybody liked Leth. Leth was beautiful. That's kind of a strange, unintended consequence of having a beautiful pawn is when they die, it is felt hard. Alright, another thing I need to do is Mr. Deef. I ought to get you back onto research. Push these research goals a little bit better. And then this back pathway here needs to be secured, oops, a little bit better. This room here won't be. Oh, and a new pawn again. Okay. First things first, change the drugs. Here's the new pawn, it's Sail. 59-year-old nimble, too smart masochist. What are you? You are a brawler, I guess. Health. Ooh. Okay. New. You are a cripple or infirm. For priorities here, we gotta fix some of these. Okay, that looks about right. Everyone's being set to Cannibal Zone. Menme here now has been pseudo-promoted to Safe Zone. You stay a little safer when you're a dedicated crafter. Okay, and then your work priorities. I think, regardless of what your aptitude is, you really have to be set to clean. Because you're not going to move around a lot. One of the problems with having so many pawns is there's really only so much meaningful work that a community has, right? And, well, simply put, our community doesn't have a lot of meaningful work for all these people. Ideally, we would start to put them into cryosleep caskets. So the reason behind a cryosleep casket, when we have casketed pawns, they don't count as one person for defensive purposes. They count as 3/10 of a person. I know it's kind of like the three-fifths compromise. It's a little dark, but that's the way it works. And that means that it will be a little bit better for us to sleep the people that are, for lack of a better term, useless. Because it will make our defenses a little bit easier. So we're definitely low on granite. I could do a Muffalo run to try to buy the blocks somewhere, but it's... given how many pawns we have, it's just as easy to mine and haul the stones. Maybe a little bit slower. Alright, Membi. Now that there's an eye available, Ms. Membi, you are going to get it. It's your left eye. I guess these sensory mechanites have been sort of compensating for the lack of sight here. Really? Sight 125% with one eye? That is, I didn't know that was possible. Alright, Wolf will operate on you. He loves operating. Wolf now is he machine body complete? No, he's overjoyed, but not machine body complete. He needs more mechs, more bionics. And here's a bionic arm. That might be a wolf wolf arm in just a second. Colonist needs rescue. Hans, I am very curious about how you... Oh no, who passed out? Seo? Ah. Because of conscious... No, not a loss of consciousness. I'm not sure what. Oh, you can't move because you're so infirm that Smoke Leaf knocks you unconscious. That is relatively hilarious. Alright, we're doing the operation with Herbal. Machine body complete. That is about as high as you can get. Which is great. Now checking the assignments here. What I'm going to do for combat for now is to not allow flak vest or jackets. And for colonist outfits, they won't as well. So what I'll do is I'll have a stockpile. What I need to do is get a quick count of our snipers. So for equipment, I can sort 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 sniper rifles. I don't think I need more than that. So what I'm going to do here is make 7 flak vests and jackets for our 7 snipers. The constant combat music of the potential but not realized threat of the mechs is sort of wearing on me, if I am being honest. Oh nice, you mine once, at least you can haul. Alright, so now our sight should be a lot better. Yep. It's a lot better. Deef is still working on the packaged survival meals. Research. I'm eager to get that done. We're almost done with some of the border walls. We do need... I don't think I'm going to worry about sapper sapping here. They could sap the back wall here. So there's part of this here that I need to adapt. But we're becoming, I wouldn't say sapper proof. That would be an exaggeration, but we're becoming sapper resistant. I'm going to leave this door open while they work. And it's likely that I'm out of wood. Yes, I am indeed out of wood. Luckily, I do live in a forest. One that its trees are slowly becoming either cut down or poisoned, but a forest nonetheless. We're working on the whole poison bit. No, that will reach eventually. So now we'll have a double wall, often with turret coverage to prevent any possible accidental incursion or whatever. We do need a little bit more turret coverage over here and then over here, but that will stop sappers from trying to sap. They'll probably aim for this wall here if these turrets are off, which is good. Very, very good, in fact. Having sappers run straight into the mouth of the wolf is a good thing. Another thing I wanted to do is for Mr. Leth here. I want to put his armor away. So I'm going to put this as critical for his armor. So that is apparel of plate armor. So Mr. Jarrett, you were hauling, weren't you? His weapon lives on, but his armor should not. He's the one and only true knight of our community. So let's haul the plate, forbid it. Or actually, I don't even need to forbid it. What I could do is... Honestly, I'm good with no one wearing plate armor, so let's just take that off the queue, and everyone should leave that alone. Plate armor is no longer being considered as a valid armor type. Jarrett does need better armor, for sure. But he can always slap on some of this marine armor, even though it's tattered, and he won't care that much. As long as he gets to kill people. That is the Jarrett way. So the way that the sapper denial works is sappers will not aim to go into areas like through walls that have turret coverage. It's not perfect, but what I'm working on allows us to do is to prevent enemies from... Oh, solar flare is here. Cool. Alright, let's repair this broken component and get on home. Alright, you're done here. Because otherwise you're just going to starve. So it will steer them towards where they perceive to be the weakest link of your defenses. And in this case, they'll perceive it to be maybe here if I have turrets that are off. It's sort of experimental. You know, I have to experiment with does it work, does it not work, etc., etc. But hopefully, at the very least, what we could do is also line this area with IEDs. Fire ones if I have wood flooring, which maybe I'll work on. So if I'm going to do wood flooring, what I need to do is try to aim to not have power being carried through the cables that border the wood floors so that no short circuit events can affect them. But yeah, then we might be able to dissuade potential raiders from entering, which would be quite good. Alright, Mogar is here. Checking the numbers. Can always... Food restrictions. He's right here, so that is definitely going to be NPM. Quickly looking over. Yep. No, Kritos should be on NPM as well. All the No Fine or Lavish or Lavish are all Patreon patrons. Just doing a quick scan, making sure I haven't screwed up anywhere. That seems to be true. He also needs to be put on the cannibal zone so he doesn't walk through the ships on his way home. Where is he? He wasn't at risk of that. Mimi. Okay. Solar flare. Not doing so wonderfully. What about... Why is this blue fur not being moved? This is probably higher... No, it's the same priority. Okay, let's make this preferred. This ought to work. That was a big error there that I caught. Alright, solar flare ended. Didn't spoil a lot of food or bodies. That's good. Short solar flares. Far less of a nuisance than long ones. Who's starving? Memi was starving. During the solar flare, I didn't free up the NPM, so a lot of people kind of went temporarily hungry. Alright, I have some pig skin for furniture. Go ahead and make 2 pigskin chairs. I'm trying to make the kitchen that we have comfortable. And now, once we complete all those, we will do prepackaged survival meals forever. Sergio's going to put the finishing touches. And they're still just good. You know, we have enough blue fur to do the other 4 chairs in blue fur, and still plenty left over to tailor, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now we should be able to start tailoring. Yeah, definitely. Get rid of the old ones. I could also aim for better tables as well. Finally, an excellent. And we're back to making pants. Normal quality. Come on, you disappoint me. We're already extremely, or unbelievably impressive, so. Velik is cranking out Masterwork shirts. A lot of them. We have some visitors that have crap on them. Maybe they'll buy, oh, this is, yeah, maybe they'll buy that one pill I have. Whole lot of drugs growing. It's almost fall, so I'm sort of keeping an eye on the clock here, making sure that we have enough time to bring these up to full harvest. I think I do. For some of these crops, some of the crops won't, maybe. These potatoes may or may not, I'm not sure. Alright, Ms. Luna, you don't have anything to do? Let's trade with these guys. Maybe they have something that we can trade on. I'd get rid of the go juice, because having it sit around is not super safe. And we have some travelware that you could buy. Really, any of the damaged clothing, if it's, you know, I'm happy to sell. Alright. They don't have a lot for us to buy. They do have some tea, a granite club, and a good pillow, so I have to maybe sell them less stuff. They did not come equipped with very much. Having the extra tea is kind of nice. It's gonna go pretty quick though. 20 tea does not last long in this community. It's already gone. When we make an NPM, we definitely should drop. There we go. So now when we have all the necessary meals made, we can then work on NPM. Or, not NPM, work on survival meals. Looking at this community here, we definitely don't have big game left to hunt. Here, we sort of do. We might need to, what I'm going to do is kill off as much of the small wildlife as we can to make room for more animals. I might have just been selectively calling the big stuff, and that could pose as a problem. We're done with the flak vests for our 7 snipers. We are just about done with the retaining wall, and we have a traditional infestation. Well, the beautiful thing is I am just about out of time, so I'm going to end this episode on a bit of a cliffhanger. Next episode, obviously, we'll be defending against this infestation, so that should be interesting. I think we should do fine, given the infestation is spawning in our kill box, basically, but you'll have to tune in next time for that. Thank you all for watching. If you have any feedback, questions, or comments, drop me a line. If you're curious about the full vote results, they will be posted on Rhadamant.com and Discord, and I'll catch you all later. Thank you for watching. Adios.